The first part of getting Ubuntu to install on your machine is making sure that your machine can boot from the installation medium, usually a CD-ROM. It is also possible to prepare a USB stick to use as your install medium. We cover that in the appendix of the course. Shown here, we see the machine booting to a CD-ROM device. Next, we will get the opening welcome screen, which offers to let us either try Ubuntu or to install it. This is the same for most of the versions of Ubuntu install, as they all use the common Ubuntu installer. As shown in this video, we will select Install Ubuntu from the first window that opens after making sure our language is properly selected. The next screen verifies that we have available disk space to install the operating system. It's also recommended to be plugged into a power source and, if possible, to be connected to the internet. If you're connected to the internet, we can select download updates while installing. It's also a good idea to select install third-party software so you'll have the necessary codecs to play the popular media types. This next step is important. In this example, we're assuming you have an empty drive and you're installing onto a fresh system. If not, check the appendix and more advanced installation techniques where you can either share a drive with another operating system or erase what's there and replace it with Ubuntu. You also have the option to encrypt your installation or to use logical volume management. The Something Else selection opens up the partitioner dialog, which is an advanced topic and not covered in this specific video demonstration. Once you've verified these settings are correct, you can click the Install Now button to continue. To properly install Ubuntu needs some basic information, including your locality and time zone. You can use this graphical interface of the world map and click on the area where you live to select your time zone. Then click Continue. Following that, we need to tell Ubuntu about the keyboard we'll be using. In this case, we're selecting the English US keyboard. If your keyboard is different, you should select the proper keyboard for your system. There is also a Detect Keyboard Layout helper, which you can click and follow through the dialog by pressing certain keys to detect the keyboard you have. In this case, since we know it's an English keyboard, we select that and click Continue. Following setting your location and time zone, you'll have to give the system your name. It'll suggest a computer name, or you can overwrite that and create your own as you desire. It'll also suggest a username based on the name you typed in, which you can also change. And then you have to enter and confirm your password. With passwords, it's always a good idea to use at least one uppercase letter, a number, and a special punctuation character to make the password strong. In this example, since it's only a demo, we're living with the weak password, which is not recommended. From experience, we suggest you use a short computer name, which will leave more room on the command line for you to type when using a terminal. However, remember that each computer name should be unique within your local network. Once you have entered this information, it's time to sit back and relax, because all the rest of the work as far as installing the operating system is performed by the installer for you. We can look at the slideshow, which will automatically increment, or you can click on the arrows on the right and left portion of the window to move the slideshow backward and forward. It's a good idea to look at this while you're waiting for the install, because you'll learn a lot about what's being installed along with the operating system, specifically some applications which will be different depending on the specific Ubuntu installation you are performing. Xubuntu is installed with the XFCE desktop, so it's basically Ubuntu with a different desktop than the standard Ubuntu desktop. The Xubuntu desktop allows icons to be placed on the desktop for shortcuts, and it also contains a single menu which drops down from the top of the screen. This is similar, of course, to the Ubuntu Studio menu, which also happens to use the XFCE desktop. With Xubuntu, we can easily create a favorites list for the programs that we use most often. You can personalize your login with an icon or avatar, and that will also be carried through to applications that you use, such as Pigeon and LibreOffice. With the XFCE desktop, like most other desktops, you have the ability to customize the color scheme and look and feel of the desktop itself. This can be done via the theme configuration tool, which is included as a utility with the installation. Like other Ubuntu flavors, Xubuntu installs the Firefox browser by default as the browser. It also installs Thunderbird for a mail client and the Pigeon Internet Messenger to be used for instant messaging. Unlike other versions, Xubuntu does not include the LibreOffice installation, but we'll show you how to install that later on in the course. It does include AbiWord and Numeric, which are two different alternate Word-like and Excel-like applications. For media applications, the Gmusic browser and Parole are included with the installation. You can always add other media players later if you desire. Like other Ubuntu installations, the Ubuntu Software Center will also be installed, as well as the Settings Manager, which you can use to control how your workstation behaves. For live support, you can check out the #Xubuntu IRC chat channel, and some other links for support and documentation on Xubuntu are shown here on this screen. As with all Ubuntu distributions, Xubuntu is free and open source. However, you can contribute, you can join the mailing list to find out what's happening, and you can get involved if you'd like to help make it even better. Remember, this is a community, and you're free to join and contribute and share like everyone else. The remainder of the install is just copying files, downloading updates if you're connected to the internet, and installing the applications and operating system of Xubuntu. When the installation is completed, you'll be prompted. You can click the Restart Now button, remove the media if and when you're prompted to do so, and reboot the system. It should boot from your hard drive and give you a fresh new Xubuntu system with a nice new desktop. After a reboot, you'll have to provide the password that you used during the installation to log in. Here we see the Xubuntu desktop open with three shortcuts for the file system, home, and the trash can. In the upper left corner is a menu which allows you to access other features and applications of the system. And here we see the shortcut button to shut the system down. You have a choice to log off, restart, shut down, or suspend the system. In this case, we're going to shut down because our work is done for now.